Good morning, boys and girls. We are going to be talking today about celebrating cultures. So, as I'm reading this, you will also be following along in your communities books. So remember, these are your communities books, so go ahead and take that book out. Pause the video if you need to. We are going to be talking about, again, celebrating communities. That starts on page 104. So go ahead and open your book to page 104. And let's go ahead and get started. So there are a few vocabulary words that we want to kind of take a look at. Our vocabulary is going to be holiday and tradition. So holiday and tradition. So let's go ahead and get started on reading Celebrating Cultures. The streets in San Francisco are so crowded. The sound of the firecrackers is loud too. Smoke from the exploded firecrackers fills the air. Then the parade passes. Big, colorful paper dragons and lions dance around the marchers. When the gongs sound, you can almost feel the sidewalk shake. When the parade is over, people leave to visit friends and relatives. You are going to celebrate Asian New Year with your family. As usual, your grandmother will have a big feast. Now you are really hungry. So as we read down here, as you read, think about ways celebrations are alike and different. So think about, now this is an Asian New Year, but think about how we celebrate our own New Year. So remember, during holidays, and we kind of had a lesson on holidays earlier, and we talked about the different holidays that we celebrate in America. Well, in different countries and in different cultures, you have different people celebrating different types of holidays in some cases, or celebrating an event in a different way. So for example, I know here in New Mexico we have Matanzas. If you were to go to somewhere in Florida or maybe somewhere in New York, they wouldn't know anything about a matanza. Or we have the burning of zozobra. And so some of those things are traditions that we have based on our own Spanish culture or Hispanic cultures. So let's take a look at families celebrate together. Families celebrate many different holidays together. A holiday is a special day for remembering an important person or event. Often, families celebrate holidays with special traditions. A tradition is a way that a group does something. Traditions are repeated year after year as a part of celebrations. When people follow traditions, they feel that they are part of a community. A tradition that many Asian families follow is to have a certain meal for Asian New Year. Some Asian communities also celebrate fall moon festivals. What special days does your family celebrate? You can read about a celebration in a Native American community and end with a poem on page 128. How do traditions help keep cultures strong? How do traditions keep cultures strong? So when we have traditions, think about the traditions that you might have in your own family. What is something that you do year after year that makes what you do with your family special? So think about that. How do traditions help keep culture strong? Think about your own family. How does this keep your family strong? That's one way to also look at it. How does it keep your family strong? So special things that we do help bring us together and help us remember that people can work together and celebrate together in a very special way. Let's take a look at page 106, family celebrations. So we have some different celebrations here. Family celebrations. Some holidays, such as Christmas and Hanukkah, are religious. Others, such as birthdays or anniversaries, are non-religious. Remember, non means not, if you remember the prefixes that Miss Badger has been teaching you. It mentions down here we have some photos. There are captions under these photos. Here it says some people celebrate the birth of Jesus on Christmas. It is a tradition to go to church and light candles. Some families have a big holiday dinner. Some give gifts to members of the family. So again, this would be considered a tradition because it's something that you do year after year and you celebrate it as an important event. So in this case, Christmas would be an important event for some families. When Ramadan is over, Eid al-Fitr is celebrated. Muslim adults do not eat or drink in the daytime during Ramadan. On Eid al-Fitr, they have a traditional holiday meal with special sweets. Children usually get gifts. So again, thinking about how these are different, some people give gifts to family members, whereas in this tradition for Ramadan, they celebrate and they usually give gifts to the children. Okay, let's take a look at the next page on 106. It says many holidays have traditions, symbols, and music. A symbol is an object that represents something else. Cakes and candles are symbols that help people celebrate birthdays. So think about what are some things that they have. You also have presents, right? And you wrap the presents in nice paper. Same thing for Christmas. Those are special symbols or traditions. Santa Claus could be considered a symbol. The Easter Bunny can also be considered a symbol because they are known for that special holiday. What traditions of these family holidays are like yours, and which ones are different? So yeah, there are some very different parts to holidays and how people celebrate. Some families celebrate Hanukkah, a Jewish holiday that lasts for 8 days. People light a candle every night for 8 nights. Some eat traditional foods and play special games. In some families, children get gifts. Some families celebrate Kwanzaa to honor their ancestors and their African American culture. The holiday is 7 days long. People light candles, so very similar to Hanukkah. 1 day less for Hanukkah than Kwanzaa, right? 7 days instead of 8. Each one stands for a special value, such as unity or responsibility. So it sounds like this particular celebration of this holiday has to do a lot with thinking about your values and what you hold precious to you as a person. Okay, turn to page 108 in your book. Communities celebrate cultures. Many communities have celebrations that started in other countries. The celebrations honor ethnic groups who help build the community. These celebrations are sometimes called ethnic celebrations. For example, in the Hispanic culture, you have Cinco de Mayo. Cinco de Mayo means the 5th of May. It is a Mexican holiday that celebrates the victory of the Mexican people over the French, who invaded their country. After a battle on May 5th, 1862, the French left Mexico. For many people, the holiday is a symbol. It shows that the people of Mexico could become free of rulers from other countries. Today, many people in Mexico and other countries celebrate Cinco de Mayo. In the United States, people dance in colorful clothes. So we also have, for example, another example would be Dia de Muerto. The Dia de Muerto, the Day of the Dead, would be also a more ethnic celebration because it's coming from the Hispanic culture, instead of the American culture where you have Halloween. So a little bit different, but again, these celebrations are due to the fact that you have different people having different celebrations due to their culture, their background, their families. Okay, last page. They play music on guitars and eat traditional Mexican food. They show that they are proud to be Mexican Americans. St. Patrick's Day is celebrated in many communities around the United States and the world. The holiday started as a religious holiday in Ireland, a country in Europe. On St. Patrick's Day, both Irish and non-Irish people celebrate Irish culture. Some people honor Irish culture by wearing green clothing, watching parades, and eating green-dyed food. So, in review, it says, in what ways are Cinco de Mayo and St. Patrick's Day alike? Well, if you think about it, they're honoring a different culture from a different country. They both have different ways of showing how they celebrate by either dancing to different music, or, for example, they eat different foods. Maybe they, like, for example, the St. Patrick's Day, people celebrate by using green dye in their food. But I noticed they also, if you look, they talked about clothing here, and clothing is an important way to show how they honor their culture. So wearing green for the Irish or wearing multicolored for Cinco de Mayo would be honoring that culture. Okay, let's take a look at summarize the lesson. It's always important to summarize what did we learn from this lesson. So it says, people follow traditions when they celebrate holidays. So that means they have certain things that they like to do that celebrate that holiday. That's a tradition. Families celebrate religious, which has to do with church, and non-religious holidays. People celebrate to honor ethnic groups who help build their community. So, for example, Hispanic Americans, Native Americans, Irish, all the different people that came to this country because we were free, all have a part in our celebrating different cultures. So what I want you to do now is I want you to go into Schoology, and in your Schoology folder for social studies, you're going to answer the comprehension questions that are there on celebrating cultures. So I enjoyed reading with you today, and let's go ahead and take a look at our questions. Have a great afternoon.